Hello, how you doing? My name is John Canal. I am begging for your help. We desperately need your help. The city of Winnipeg does. The city is first degree murdering the poor of our city. You phone the cops yourself, right? The police are forbidden to investigate all homicides that occur at a hospital. The College of Physicians and Surgeons said they are forbidden to investigate any criminal matters. That's not their jurisdiction, and it's not the jurisdiction of the police. In the meanwhile, thousands of fucking people are falling as murder victims here. There's dishonor in our ranks to not be civilized. I've been to the police 6 times. I'm going again tomorrow. They refuse to accept my complaint that my mother was murdered. Right? They're not saying I'm wrong. They're saying they will not defend the rights as lives of Canadians who enter hospitals. My mom went there for the betterment of her condition, not to be denied health care. Like, she's not allowed to have the medications that she needs while they give her medications to poisons to stop her from breathing. I'm not making that up. Phone the hospital yourself in your American city that runs Comfort Care. We did not sign anything to be suicided. Do you understand? In our country, they're making it legal to commit suicide across the country. Right? And Trump mentioned it coincidentally or whatever. It doesn't say anything about committing suicide in the American Constitution either. And yet this is what they say is the reasons why these doctors aren't formally executed. My mother was murdered right in front of me. Right? I have the audio and video of these crimes occurring and the police not getting involved to defend our innocent lives. And these that claim whatever they are, maybe satanic enemies of God and man, have told me directly that we have no power, right? And nobody escapes this murder scene, of which they have, the whole thing is so diabolically evil. They have physiotherapists, for example, but nobody's ever left in the 7 years that Charlene's worked there. Every single person in there is brought to death by torture. The suffocation is their main thing. They suffocate people. Now, the nature of this is like Bill Gates. If you go hear Bill Gates talk at RT, he talks about, sterilizing humanity because there's too many people. But he doesn't tell that when he's sterilizing these people in the third world country. No, he lies to those guys. And our news corporate celebrities, they figure, we got to lie to the poor people. We know we're stealing their lives, but if we told them that, they wouldn't be too comfortable. And who has rights that supersede others? It shouldn't be that way in a fair to speak, a free society of we the people. But no, for some reason you don't want to support the defense of innocent Winnipeg lives. There's no uncertainty here. If you're lost in listening to the audio of the police telling you yourself, paying attention, phone them included. Right? These are dishonorable enemies of Christ, of mankind, right? That war to kill the innocent poor. It's not our individual police officers. Those people have no way of getting the information sent to them unless you make a fucking effort to speak out for the interest of innocent lives being forsaken. Just, there's a recent post I did, John Canal on the mass murders at Winnipeg Health Science Center continuing, with our police forbidden to investigate. Why wouldn't you forward that? What kind of person are you? Similarly as it is on all these other affairs that cost innocent American lives in respect to these terrorist acts. When the evidence is brought forward, you don't want to make others aware. How come? You side for the right-tard, the Alex Jones, the Mike Rivero. Well, Mike Rivero's not necessarily a right-tard, but Alex Jones most definitely. Everything is bigot classed. The bad guys are globalists, not criminals. Not suspects to be criminal by following the probable reasons as for why one infringement or another has occurred. No, he's a false accuser. Right? Tells you to vote for Trump, who's promised he's going to fill up Guantanamo. He's going to torture innocent people to escape those responsible for murdering Americans. Sound like a fucking leader of the free world to you? A loser. American loser. So, you want to live in your lies and have your neighbor die forsaken because you figure it'll be some other American who will fucking bite the savagery or bite the bullets of the fucking ungodly, evil enemies who tell you all these terrorist crimes like Trump does are done by radical Muslims. Right? Not fucking... Which person of 9/11 as the falsely maligned is even a Muslim? None of them. None of them are Muslims. None of them claim to be Muslims. You might have heard that on TV somewhere, right? They're snorting coke, drinking booze, right? Working with the FBI. None of them members of Al Qaeda, right? Not a single one is a member of Al Qaeda. They're in the country legally. Alex Jones is here to lie to you, to have you not understand how Anthony Schaefer fits into this. Hired by Zelikow to spread disinfo because I'm just in the process of defeating George Walker Bush in the Canadian court system, proving for a categorical fact the FBI are forbidden to investigate. But all these guys, none of these are Al Qaeda. But in 2003, he's hired to make up that lie, and Alex Jones gives him the platform to spew his demon lies. Understand, he's on Alex Jones' show telling you it's pulled up by radical Muslims, and Alex Jones isn't there to say, well, somebody said explosives. You think it was bin Laden's crew? How so? Well, we can figure out how so. It's Denko Mechanical. They would claim themselves to be Jews, and you'd go, yeah, don't blame them, you're being anti-Jewish, and I'm being anti-criminal. Right? It doesn't matter if they claim themselves to be whatever. We're going by the evidence trail. And these guys had unrestricted security clearance passes, of which they were not eligible for, considering they were a private company claiming they were doing contract work for the World Trade Center complex, of which the Port Authority says that never occurs. They have their own in-house staff. And even so, on an issue that had never happened, and it wouldn't, but even if it did, it would have to be an insured company that's bonded. This is a fake company. Nobody's going to contract any work for these thieves of something most sinister because they're not insured. It's a multi-billion-dollar site. You can't just let anybody in there to cause catastrophic consequences that aren't covered by insurance. So the insurance company insists that you have to have a bonded company. And this isn't a real company, not bonded, and they never do contract work outside of in-house staff. There's your fucking suspect. Alex Jones doesn't want to do that. All right? It's the radical Muslims or the globalists who did it. The New World Order. Who's that? So, just as it is on 9/11, they don't allow police investigation, so too is it on this murder rampage against the poor in Winnipeg. And they claim you're powerless, and I hate to believe it. Why is it that you can't forward the concern? I'm not saying you have to give it in blindly. I'm saying you research the subject yourself. You don't have time? Listen to the first couple of small little MPEGs, audio files of the police saying no investigations will be allowed, no complaint can be drawn, and the chief medical examiner for the entire province saying he refuses all autopsies, no autopsies to determine cause of death from the Health Science Center. And then they, against your will, my mom's going in there for a thyroid condition. All she needed was some water pills. But they say, no, your mom's on comfort care, denied medications and poisoned to die. No, you don't have a choice as a Canadian citizen. Well, they tortured my mom. I'm calling the cops. When I initially called the cops and my mom's being tortured, the police didn't tell me then that they had no intention of helping whatsoever. They had me falsely believe that they were coming to our aid. And it isn't until my mom is finally murdered 33 days later do the cops then tell, we never had any intention on saving your mother's life. As complicit in first-degree murder, the city is against my mother, my loved mother. You don't love your mother? I love my mother. Why can you not click like this is an important issue for you just the same? What's wrong with you? When I give you the evidence on 9/11 that the police are forbidden to investigate and they threaten officers with arrest. You don't like the version of reality where you can see clearly how we are being undone by those who will criminal intent to continue on because they claim you today are powerless to click like. And maybe, what is it? Why can't you do that? You have all these followers and all these people who are saying, yeah, right on, Johnny, right on. Do a video, nothing. How come? Why? Are we being censored? People of Earth here, are we being censored by Google Plus, or is it that you really don't fucking give a rat's ass, and for the uncertainty here draws you to concentrate too much? You'd rather vote for Trump, who's going to promise to fill up Guantanamo and forsake the value of American freedom, not getting back your stolen trillions. Alex Jones never brings it up to you, and this is why Mike Rivero just the same wants you to vote for Trump. Then they don't look like those who have been selling you out. Trillions of dollars have been extorted and embezzled. But Alex Jones doesn't want to bring that to your attention. as to why Obama wars Syria the democracy, because they cast their own credit. They don't have a private billionaire bankster pirating our will to just take half of our lives for doing nothing. In Syria, it's essentially the same thing. They just get rid of the banker. Everything stays the same. People work at the bank, tellers and everything. Just get rid of that fucking banker. Have it executed for financial fraud, maybe, or at least put it into prison if it's committed such grievous assaults as are just continuous on American territory. Right? They're committing massive fraud. They don't cover the credit. You're paying them back for money they didn't borrow you, unlike it is in Syria. That's what Alex Jones wars God and humanity as satanic about. He doesn't want you to know. Well, he gets you to eat arsenic, lead, and mercury in his toxic tangerine. Right? He's giving you poisons to cause you brain damage and then not having you informed on the matter, telling you to vote for somebody who has no will to defend the American people, has no will to defend American soldiers. Says he spoke out against the Iraq War in 2003. Speak out against it now. There's no reason to bomb. Hitler is a war crime enemy who conned soldiers to die needlessly. If we have unrestricted access, bombing the country is only going to lower our ability to do anything. Pro or con or steal it all, whatever. As Trump says, we should just steal it. Why didn't we steal it all, he claims. Says out in public, yeah, that's right, all the Trumpites. Trumpets, right, all clapping for torturing innocent Americans. Right, they clap to have Americans tortured, innocent Americans, guilty of nothing. They cheer to have innocent people tortured. You don't have a problem with that, American less than, do you? Right? Can't find it within yourself to express a fucking sentence of concern. Can you? Innocent people are being mass murdered in Winnipeg. We need to get police officers on this task of simply investigating the crime scene. That's all I'm asking for. Do you hear me, listener? All I'm asking for is an investigation. The crime is solved almost instantly and they go to prison for life if we do the right thing. The front desk of the police department says no investigations are allowed over the murder of innocent people at the Health Sciences Center, 4th floor, 4H. Like I was saying, they have physiotherapists. What are they there for? Nobody's ever escaped. Right? But they play along. You know, the physiotherapists are working with these people for years. Never does one person ever escape. Right? They murder every single one. Nobody ever escapes. They murdered my mom. They'll murder your mom. They've murdered all kinds of people's parents here. Guy across the street, his dad, same fucking thing. Goes in there for something that he wants them to look at, and they say, you're in comfort care. We're going to deprive you all your medications and poison you to die now. And he had no power either. He just murdered his dad. Woman, this is people that live within a fucking block or work within a block away from my home. This other girl, her mother and father were killed at the Health Science Center. Same fucking thing. Almost same thing. A little bit different. Another guy lives 2 blocks over. His girlfriend's mother was murdered. 4H. Same fucking thing. Comfort care. The difference there is they said she had HIV. 87-year-old woman. So they said we're not giving her any medications that she needs for her condition, and now we're going to suffocate her. And that's the policy. And the chief medical examiner says there's no investigations allowed. Nah, 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 nah. So he has power over your soul. Go listen to the fucking voice recordings of my most recent phone call with him. Right? No autopsies are allowed to determine cause of death. And he's so confident because I'm so poor that there's no way I'm going to get this underway because I don't have the money to hire a lawyer. I want a police officer to be honorable and demand an investigation be opened immediately to save further innocent murder victims here. All the evidence is made available to you. Go get a copy of the archive of these phone calls and of the video of them announcing my mom dead with a multiple organ failure. And then the Dr. Seamus saying they removed all that from the medical record, and yet we have all the videotapes of my mom them trying to poison her. The doctor will confirm that they ordered that the end-of-life medications, the poison, be stopped, and yet they continued. That nurse Delaney, after punching my mom in the eye, the police refused to have her arrested. She doesn't even get investigated by the College of Nurses. Right? Nobody will put these demons behind bars or be formally executed just yet because they claim we have no power because we don't have our voices heard for fairness on TV or in the newspapers. Make the judgment fair for yourself and demand a public inquiry so the facts are outlaid to everybody to witness freely for ourselves. That we're not going to allow them to kill us like this any longer without putting up a fight for what's right. So get on it, man.